In the late pre-dynastic period, Egypt was divided into provinces or nomes, in Greek, and it is thought that the number of provinces of both Lower and Upper Egypt were equals. Over the years, the provinces of Lower Egypt were unified into two regions. The first was in the west, its capital was Hermopolis Parva. In Greek, it was a center for the worship of Horus. The second was in the east, its capital was Busiris, which was a center for the worship of Osiris. After a period of time, the two regions united into a one kingdom, and its capital was firstly Sais, then turned to Hermopolis Parva. The official god of the North Kingdom was Horus. In Upper Egypt also some provinces united in a one kingdom, its capital was Nakada, they took Set as official god. The kings of Lower Egypt were the first to seek to unify the two kingdoms of Lower and Upper Egypt into one kingdom, and they succeeded in imposing their authority and influence over the kingdom of the south, which was weaker at this time. The first capital of country was Busiris, but this united didn't last long because of unrest and revolutions that happened in the kingdom of Upper Egypt. As its people protested against the dominance of the Delta, so the country divided into the past kingdoms. After a period of time, Horus' kingdom became more powerful and subjected Set kingdom. Heliopolis was taken as the capital of the new kingdom, and perhaps its distinguished location between the two kingdoms is the reason for choosing it. The insignia of the new kingdom was a sun disk spreading its wings, which represent both Lower and Upper Egypt, and it is a symbol of the sun god, Ra, as Heliopolis was the center of worship of Ra. But after a period of religious unrest, this united failed another time, but this time with the setup of two new kingdoms. One in Lower Egypt, and its capital was Buto, and one in Upper Egypt, and its capital was Nekhen. Both of the two kingdoms took Horus as official god. After a period of conflicts between the two kingdoms, specifically in 3200 BC, according to most historical sources, Egypt was unified for the third time, but this time by one of the kings of the south, King Mens or Narmer. These unification events were engraved in one of the oldest and most famous ancient Egyptian discoveries. It is Narmer Palette. It was discovered in Nekhen and also called the Hierakonpolis Palette. The Narmer Palette consists of two sides. The upper part of both sides bears the name Narmer written in hieroglyphs between two cow heads, depicting the goddess Ether. And Mens appears as a giant man in all scenes. The first side contains two scenes. The top scene depicts King Narmer wearing the white crown, the crown of Upper Egypt, followed by his shoe bearer, and holding his scepter with his right hand, by which he strikes his enemy, who is kneeling in front of him, while his left hand grips the hair of this enemy. And at the top of the scene there is inscriptions means that Horus brought captives from the Delta, land of Papyrus, to King Narmer. As for the lower scene, it represents two escaped and naked enemies. The other side of the palette contains three scenes. The top scene depicts the king, wearing the red crown, the crown of Lower Egypt, preceded by 4 flag bearers and then his minister. In front of them there are 10 captives, whose heads were cut off and placed between their legs. Above them, the names of the cities conquered by Narmer were written. The middle scene depicts 2 strange animals wrestling, which represents Upper and Lower Egypt, while the lower part represents a bull butting a castle, and this is a metaphor for the king's power and his victory over his enemies. Mens constructed a new capital of Egypt called Memphis or Men-Nefer, which means the white walls, and it was a center for the worship of Ptah, the local god. Despite the strategic importance of Memphis, as its distinguished location near the old capital, Heliopolis, made it as a center for controlling over the Lower Egypt and repelling Libyans' raids through the western side of the delta. But it is thought that Memphis didn't play an important role as a capital until the 3rd dynasty, as the kings of the 1st and 2nd dynasties didn't transfer their kingship to it and they remained resident in Nekhen. But Memphis remained existing 10 centuries during the ruleship of the first 8 dynasties. Although, men succeeded in unifying Egypt, but there was still an independent province called Taistai, which represents the far southern part of Nubia. And it was not inhabited by the black race as is the case now. But it was inhabited by a branch of the indigenous people of Egypt. The black race appeared there during the decline that occurred by the end of the Old Kingdom, specifically in the era of the 6th dynasty. Taistai was annexed later on to Egypt by one of Menzies' successors. Thank you for watching.